We are easily pleased, we laugh a lot, but we are also easily hurt. Alcohol magnifies our hurts many times over to the point that many can see no reason to go on living. And you concluded by saying that once depression sets in, we try to escape the hurt by drinking more, which has a snowball effect from which too many of us cannot recover. Substance abuse is related to disturbing statistics regarding Native youth suicides and high school dropout rates. Suicide in American Indian and Alaska Native youth is 2.5 times the national average. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for Alaska Native youth aged 15 to 34, and the fourth leading cause of death in the 10 to 14 age range. Alaska Native young men between the ages of 15 to 24 are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than any other demographic, and Alaska Native young women of the same age range are most prone to attempt it. In fact, one study on Alaska Native youth reported that 21.8% of young women and 11.8% of young men repeatedly attempt suicide in our communities. We've got to stop and ask ourselves, why do our people live without hope? Why do our young people live without hope? For surely this is the only conclusion that can be drawn from such sad facts. You know, in any culture, it's hard being a teenager. We're raising a couple of them ourselves. They all struggle, and we all struggled with self-esteem issues, the pressure to be successful, the desire to figure out what's true in this world and what's our role in it. However, I'm coming to learn more that being an Alaska Native teenager has a whole different set of challenges attached to it. This is what I'm learning. Alaska Native youth are confronted by cultural conflicts as their Native values collide with the values of the cultures around them. Their identity can remain underdeveloped, and understanding how to relate to either culture can be confusing and overwhelming. For many, substance abuse blurs the honor, pride, and beauty of their culture. The positive is replaced by a sense of fear, isolation, depression, and shame in their identity. Unfortunately, there's another terrible side effect linked to substance abuse in our communities, and it's one of the leading causes of youth suicide. Alaska is #1 in the nation for child sexual abuse. I'm talking about incest, sexual assault. Many Alaska children and many children in rural communities on a per capita basis are molested by close family members, and through fear and shame are forced to remain silent. As most studies examining sexual abuse in Native cultures combine findings from Alaska Native and American Indian communities, I chose to include stories of abuse in my research rather than rely on cross-cultural statistics. And as I listened to these stories, it became clear that incest and sexual abuse are a threat to the Native culture. And as it threatens the Native culture, it threatens all cultures across Alaska. And anything that threatens my culture threatens your culture. I mean, we are one people in this way. Incest and sexual assault tear communities apart and destroy cultural values. When incest becomes an activity that's not only accepted, but passed on through example, hope for the victim and community recovery begins to disappear. Education is one of the best means of providing hope to individuals and communities. Through education, communities can relearn true Native values, values that protect, strengthen, and support Native peoples. Education also empowers Native youth to look further than the boundaries of their own village and enables them to return with skills to improve and to lead that same village. However, as a result of numerous factors, including substance abuse and sexual assault, the Native American and Alaska Native communities lead the nation in high school dropout rates. Alaska Native teenagers are twice as likely to drop out of high school than any other demographic. Even here in the capital, the dropout rate of all students is nearly 40%. That's not acceptable to any of us. If our students do not complete their education, they'll be trapped in ignorance, helplessness, and cycles of unhealthy behavior. A diploma opens many doors, and walking through those doors leads to hope and opportunity. I've kind of taken us down kind of a dark road for now, but let's take a turn and look up.